All right, guys, so we are back sharing terrain and Jeff here, and we are now at the point where we're gonna clean up some of this data so we can actually do an import. And as we go and call these clients, we're gonna manually go ahead and update the lead information in HubSpot itself. So for those of you that don't understand that, you're probably gonna see that in a quick minute. So the source, Sharon, can you drag that thing down? And can we call this the 43 hottest startups 2000_16? So if you put in 43 underscore hottest startups underscore NYC, then that might be a good search field for us. Underscore NYC underscore 2016. So if you could just drag that down to all 40 leads, that'd be great. Perfect. So now what we need to do is the LinkedIn status and the Facebook status, we're not going to worry about it so much right now. We are now going to export this file and put it into our CRM. And you guys will see how pretty easy this process is. It's about 12:19, or rather, 12:19 right now. And you guys will see how quick this can be done. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and export this file as a CSV. So within Google Docs, you're just going to go to download as, and then comma separated values. That's how the file needs to be read when it gets imported in the system. Once that file is imported, we're going to go right back into our HubSpot CRM. And now when we go in here, this is kind of our place to be able to do our imports. So it allows us to control and manage the data. So as we go in here, we're gonna go on the company side, and we're gonna import these companies. So if you're gonna go to the top right, where the right there, and we're gonna click on import companies. Now the difference between importing a company and importing our individual are different, because companies need to be tied to individuals themselves. So you just need to be very careful when you're doing an import. So now we're going to click on Start a New Import, and we're going to click on what kind of import. It's a company import. We're going to go ahead and choose the file that should be in our download folder, which was the CSV file that we had picked earlier. And now this is mapping. So what we do is we do a match back. So Sharon, side by side, can you put the Zimber Optimark sheet right next to the import tab, and let's just go side to side. So what you guys can see is item number 1, A1, B1, C1, D1, E1. Sharon, can you just highlight above that? Just go ahead and highlight the column above that. So that's the column that I wanted you to highlight, but that's fine. Where you see company name, URL, first name, last name, that's what's being imported. So let's go ahead and let's go back and let's just use common logic to see what keywords need to be imported, and it should make sense. So company name, the preview information showing Casper. Jeff, is that correct? Yeah. Perfect. So that HubSpot property is going to be name. So just click on name again, Sharon, and let's just verify that that's correct. Look at your other options and just make sure. So it sounds correct. It sounds like it's a company's name. So that should be appropriate. So that's right. Then we have first name Philip. Now we can go back to the Excel sheet to verify and fill up this first name so we know that that import field is correct. We're going to go back again. We're going to look at the last name, Krim. Is Krim matching up? That's correct. Then we're going to go ahead and look at the Facebook status. We're not going to import that. So we're going to take that cell and uncheck that because we don't know what that is. And the source we're going to leave. So now we can filter these set of leads under this particular source, and it'll only show us those 40.
Would you want to keep Can you add Facebook status later if you get that info?
Yep,
Right.
totally. So you can add all that. You can add all that later, but it's a manual process. Okay, and then now it's going to say columns without matches. So it's saying a URL. So we need to manually find these matches now. So let's go ahead and go through those. So find a property, and I don't know if they're relevant because these are, you know, there should be a URL function here. So let's click on that. So website URL, it's right there. So you click the website URL. Then under title, let's go down and find an appropriate property. Now that's an individual, so it's not a company. So that might not fall under this category. So let's just not import that for now. Contact number should be in there. There should be a phone number, which is there. And then the email is going to be general email, which these are kind of useless email addresses, but at least we have a data file to keep everything organized. So general email. Make sense?
Yeah.
So remember, we imported a company right now, not an individual. When you do an individual, you put all of their name information in, and then you tie them to a company. That's how it works. So now we're going to go ahead and click on Finish Import. And it's going to upload the data. It takes a couple minutes. So you should give it about 5 minutes or so to breathe. And then it should say at the end, once the import is done, that those have been added. So it's saying 43 right now, and it's saying added 0. I always get a little scared when it does that because I don't know if it's worked or not. But you usually need to give it about 5 to 10 minutes. When you refresh it, we'll go ahead and check this screen again and make sure that the 43 have been added.
So Casper was just the example line of how the rest of the 42 will be
Imported. That's correct. And that's the end of that session. We're going to be back in just a minute to go over. Oh, well, it's already done. So you can see that 43 have been processed, 43 have been added, 0 errors. So now let's quickly, before we end this session, let's just go and see that our leads are showing up correctly. So now, Sharon, can you go into HubSpot CRM? And let's go to companies and let's filter by the source. So on the left column is your control panel. So we have so much data, like we have over 4,000 companies already in our CRM. It's too much. So you need to, you got to focus in on what you're going after. So you're going to go and add a filter. And then we're going to go down and try to find source.